Last night a Denver Nuggets source called Hansen Yang a Chinese Jokic. And while that statement might sound ridiculous at face value, there's a real layer of truth behind it, especially when you dive into their offensive versatility. Hansen Yang was selected 16th overall in the NBA draft by the Portland Trail Blazers, a surprising move, as many projected him to go in the late first or early second round. So naturally, questions are swirling. What did Portland see in him? Is there hidden upside here, possibly even superstar potential? Mike Schmitz, the leader of Portland's scouting department, has never been afraid to take bold swings. Take Shaedon Sharpe, for example. He never played in college, yet Portland took him 7th overall because of his untapped offensive ceiling. Hansen Yang feels like a similar bet. At 7'1", the Chinese big man played in the CBA, where he averaged 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game, earning 2 CBA All-Star selections. His appeal starts with his post-scoring ability. Yang uses a wide variety of footwork, pivots, half spins, jab steps, and counters to fluidly work his way into the paint. His scoring touch around the basket is soft and skilled, and he excels at establishing early post position to maximize his touches. That combination, elite size, refined footwork, scoring touch, and high basketball IQ, is rare, and you can quickly see why Portland was so intrigued. When drafting outside the top 10, teams often seek unique traits, and Hansen Yang's skill set is among the most distinct in this class. If Portland wants to tap into that upside, they'll need to give him early touches. Luckily, there's some precedent. While DeAndre Ayton hasn't exactly thrived in Portland, the team has done a good job at giving him early looks and creating space for him to operate. If they take a similar approach with Yang, he could blossom. This situation reminds me of Alperen Eng in his early years. Under Stephen Silas in Houston, he didn't get consistent touches or proper spacing. But once Udoka came in, had the freedom to explore, play through mistakes, and the result was a breakout season. Yang needs that same freedom in Portland to adjust to NBA defenders and maximize his learning curve. Now, it's worth noting CBA defenders aren't as athletic or strong as NBA defenders, so Yang's post-production may not immediately translate. But he was also constantly playing through double teams in crowded paint due to poor spacing on his CBA team, so he's already used to navigating help defense and scoring under pressure. In the NBA, better spacing could make his life easier, even if the individual defenders are better. The challenge in Portland is their lack of elite guard passes. Scoot Henderson has potential, but he's still raw. Shaedon Sharpe isn't a natural playmaker, and while Dene Avdija has some creation chops, this is something the team will need to address. Getting Yang the ball in advantageous positions is key. The main reason Yang is considered a risky prospect is that great post scorers are rare in today's NBA. But there are outliers. Jokić and Yang fits a similar mold. High IQ, creative footwork, strong positional instincts, and excellent decision. Players like that, especially with size, tend to figure things out over time, and Yang's offensive upside isn't limited to post work. He's an underrated passer and playmaker, shifting defenders with his eyes, reading the floor, and making advanced reads uncommon for a 19-year-old big man. While he can occasionally be turnover prone, the instincts are real. Off the ball, his roll gravity is a huge asset. In the CBA, defenses were aggressive against him in the pick, blitzing or tagging hard because they knew how dangerous he was once he caught the ball, and because of his ability to make decisions on the move. NBA defenses may need to adjust the same way. You simply don't want a 7-footer who can put the ball on the floor, read a rotating defense, and score over smaller help defenders getting easy touches. Yang forces rotations, and when he makes quick reads out of that, your offense opens up. That's what makes Hansen Yang so intriguing. He's a 7-on big man who can make that extra read in the short roll. And in today's NBA, that's one of the most valuable offensive skills a big can have. Once he gets the ball in the middle, off the floor, off a pick and roll, the question becomes, can he make a quick decision? Can he punish rotating defenses? With Hansen Yang, the answer is yes. He shows legitimate potential to read the floor, hit corner shooters, make interior passes, and flow into second actions. He often delivers snappy reads, and if he develops a push shot or mid-range floater, his offensive game will open up even more. His touch indicators, despite a 26% three-point mark, are promising, especially when you look at his soft touch inside and 70% free throw shooting. Pair him with someone like Dene Avdija, a strong pick-and-roll handler, and you've got a potentially devastating two-man game. Yang isn't just a post-up threat. He can operate from multiple spots on the floor. He also shines in dribble handoff DHO situations. He resets possessions smartly, flows into new actions, and keeps things moving. He can play in the post, in the short roll, in DHO actions, and he has a budding ability to shoot. That's offensive versatility, and it's why Portland took a swing on him at no. 16 overall, a big swing on offensive upside. Yang's shooting is a swing skill. Again, he shot 26% from 3, which isn't good. But he hit 70% from the line and shows great touch on hook shots and floaters. You're not drafting him to be a stretch 5, but if he can hit push shots from the foul line area, he becomes much more dynamic. That's the pressure point. if he can be a threat outside the paint. Teams can't sit on his post-ups or hard tag his rolls. The goal isn't for him to space to the arc. It's to keep defenses honest in the middle third of the court. That's where he can be special. He's not a player who limits himself. He's constantly expanding his game, and that's exciting from a long-term upside perspective. Defensive and rebounding concerns now. Let's talk defense, where the biggest questions lie. First, rebounding. Yang hasn't shown great motor or physicality on the boards. In summer league action, he looked a bit soft on the glass, and that's something to monitor. If he's not dominating the glass or defending with force, it becomes difficult to justify big minutes. Second, defensive mobility. Yang just isn't built to play up in coverage. His hips are stiff, he struggles to open up laterally, and he lacks vertical pop. So hedging, switching, or playing at the level is likely out of the question. He'll need to be a deep drop coverage center, using his size and IQ to wall off the paint. He reminds me a bit of Alperen Igan or Nikola Jokic, not in mobility, but in defensive instincts. Yang has good hands, smart positioning, and flashes. Anticipation. That might be enough to keep him on the floor, but if he becomes a liability in the pick and roll like Ian's Cantor was, then his offensive gifts might not be enough to keep him playable. Still, I'm optimistic. Yang is smart, coordinated, and high. Those types of players tend to figure things out. Portland's big man conundrum. This pick becomes even more fascinating when you consider Portland's crowded frontcourt. Donovan Klingon, no 7 pick last year, is their defensive anchor. DeAndre Ayton, making $30 million a year, still occupies the starting role. Robert Williams is on the roster, though many expect him to be traded. So where does Yang fit? Will he even play in year one? It's unclear. But there are rumors of concerns around Klingon's conditioning and motor. So the idea of Yang and Klingon overlapping isn't necessarily a deal-breaker. You could envision a future where Klingon locks down the rim and Yang operates as the offensive hub, a very unique pairing with contrasting skill sets. Final thoughts after watching hours of film on Hansen Yang. I came away impressed. The creativity, the touch, the playmaking. Feel this is a unique offensive big who challenges our ideas of how talent translates to the NBA. Credit to Joe Cronin and the Blazers front office. Drafting a projected second-rounder at no 16 is a huge swing, but it also shows guts, conviction, and a willingness to bet on unique talent. It reminds me a lot of the Shed and Sharp pick. Swing big. Try to uncover something special, and for fans, this is the kind of player worth getting excited about. I'm going to be doing a lot more draft content, so drop any suggestions for prospects you want covered next. I'll have more videos, articles as we head into Summer League. Thanks for reading or listening all the way through. Hansen Yang might be one of the most interesting prospects in the 2025 class. Let's see what happens next.